Hello everyone, welcome back to Hayley's Space. My name's Hayley and I'm a nurse and knitter from Melbourne, Australia. This is another episode of my knitting podcast. It feels like August literally flew away from me. I feel like it just slipped out from under my feet. Suddenly it's September and there's still so much left to do in the year. So I really don't know where August went at all. At the start of the month, I didn't do a lot of knitting. I was traveling a lot, going back and forth between Canberra and here. I had a lot of uni work to do. And then at the end of August, I've kind of tried to pick up my knitting a little bit more and I've got a little bit more of knitting momentum, which is great. It makes me very happy to be back knitting lots again. If you are new here, remember to subscribe so you can keep up with any new videos coming out. I've got a lot of project vlogs in the works and I'll be mentioning those quite a bit today. So if you want to keep up with those and see them when they come out, remember to subscribe and also please like this video. It really helps me reach other like-minded knitters and crafters like yourself, and hopefully they can find this channel and this community as well. I follow a standard podcast format with a little bit of life update chat at the start, then finished objects, work in progress, acquisitions and plans, and then a little bit at the end about what I have been watching and reading. And as always, feel free to leave a comment with what you're working on at the moment. I love hearing from you guys and hearing what you're working on whilst you watch these videos. It gives me lots of inspo. I am unwell today. I woke up yesterday with a really sore throat and today feeling a little bit worse. I'm feeling hot, got a little bit of a temperature. It's not COVID, did my COVID test and everything. So I think it's just a cold. So hopefully it'll pass. But yeah, if I sound a bit nasally or a bit off, or I say some things that don't make sense, it's because I am unwell and heavily medicated. So as I said, there's not a lot to update you on this month because I really was just traveling. I went to Canberra a few times to see my partner. He has now graduated from training and has actually moved to Queensland for his next phase of training. So I'm not sure when I'll be going back to Canberra, but when I was there the second time, I caught up with Morgan from Morgan Unraveled, Mickey from Mickey's Cozy Corner on Instagram, and Heidi from By Her Hands on Instagram. All three of those lovely ladies live in Canberra. And we caught up for a little knit night, which was so amazing. It was so wholesome. It was so lovely. Morgan hosted us at her house and her partner Tyler cooked a beautiful dinner for us. And it was just so wholesome and so lovely. We spent the evening just knitting, chatting, making stitch markers, which I'll show you in a little bit, and just enjoying each other's company. It kind of makes me wish I lived in Canberra so that I could see these girls more often, but that would be my only reason to go to Canberra. I don't think there's any other appeal except for my knitting friends. Life has been very up and down lately. If you saw my most recent vlog, you'll know that uni has been a lot for me, taking a toll mentally, and knitting has been sort of providing some solace and some quiet time for me. So that being said, let's crack on with some finished objects. Now I don't technically have any finished objects to show you, but the two things that I'm going to show you, I'm going to class as finished objects, and I'll tell you why in a second. I dragged all of my projects up here in my Bendigo Woolen Mills bag, and I'm just going to dump it all on the floor now. Okay, if you watched my most recent week of knitting vlog, you will have seen these two projects. The first one is a baby knit. Oh, let me untangle all the ends. Hold on. Okay. These are the grey overalls by Berta Knit Store. I knit these up using cleckheaton baby yarn, 100% nylon in this really cute baby pink colour. And I used a 4mm needle. So these are yet to be seamed together. So you knit the panels separately and then you seam them up together. And I just haven't got around to doing that yet. But by the time I podcast next, these will have been gifted. So these are a gift knit for Callum and I's friend and his wife who are expecting a baby mid to late October. So I knit these up for them. And in my last podcast, I showed you a baby bear bonnet by Knitting for Olive that I knit up in this exact same yarn. And I'm actually going to gift that as well. I was going to keep it in my baby stash, but I've decided to gift this as a set with that bonnet. So yeah, I'm hoping to seam these up and send them off fairly soon. That way they can get them well and truly before baby comes and yeah, I hope they like them. It was such a quick and easy process, you will have seen from the vlog, and I highly recommend this pattern. I think the texture on the front just adds that little bit of interest to a stockinette easy baby knit. And whilst I'm not a huge fan of the look of garter stitch, I feel like it really works in this pattern because you want it to be stretchy so that it can fit a growing baby, and the nylon that I used for this pattern is perfect for that as well. I'm hoping to make a pair of these overalls for my baby knit stash for my future baby, possibly in the same pink color. I know I have, I think, 1.5 balls left of the pink, or I also have a lot of white, so I might do a stripy version, which I think could be really cute with baby pink and white. I think that could be really adorable. So yeah, I'm counting that as a finished object. Why not? I'll try and post some finished object pictures on Instagram when they're done, so definitely go check that out over there. I forgot to say as well, it needs buttons. So this was my first time doing buttonholes actually on a project, and they were just yarn overs on each side, just one yarn over in these garter stitch border sections. And I think I'm gonna look for some like teddy bear buttons, like some white teddy bear face buttons. I think could be really cute. Otherwise just white pearl buttons, I think, or like pearlescent could be nice for that. Something easy though, nothing too fiddly or fancy. So I need to go to Spotlight and get some buttons for those as well, but I'm saying they're finished. So the next project I have to show you is another gift knit. Let me find the right side to show you. This is the Quick Ombre Hat by Emily Dormier, and this is the pattern that I was talking about in my previous podcast that I knit up for my nan when I was in Perth, and I've decided to gift knit another one. This is using Cleckheaton Country Naturals 8-ply in this blue sort of tweedy colour. That was the yarn that I was using for my boyfriend's sweater before I found out that Spotlight don't sell it anymore. And the top is 4 Seasons Superwash 100% merino. I used a 5mm needle for this one, and I vlogged some of the process of me knitting this up in my most recent vlog, but it was actually so quick. This was only on my needles for about 24 hours. So you really wouldn't have seen much because it was sort of on and off. And it's for that reason that I highly recommend this pattern to everybody. If you're just getting into colourwork, you've never tried colourwork before, I definitely recommend this pattern. It's really easy to follow and creates a really cool design. So the reason why it's technically not finished is because I want to put a pom-pom on this hat. I'll put it on to show you what it looks like without the pom-pom. Keep in mind, I knit the adult man size, so it's a lot larger than what I would knit for myself. But I just think it would work with a pom-pom. So I'm just going to do a pom-pom in the blue Cleckheaton yarn with no white in it, and then it'll be ready to gift. I'm not going to say who it's for because I don't know if they watch these videos. So yeah, that's technically a finished object. I've got until Christmas to finish this up and put the pom-pom on, so I'm not fussed. So yeah, that is my second finished object. Now I did say I only had 2 finished objects, but I will show you a third, and it's one that I talked about in my previous podcast that I said was a finished object, but actually turns out it's not. This is my Northland sweater by Petite Knit. This is the sweater I actually ended up knitting up for my boyfriend for his birthday. And I knit this up using Scandi wool in this dark grey colorway. And someone told me in the comments of my last podcast that this is a contiguous sleeve construction. And I absolutely love the way that looks. But yes, anyway, it's just a stockinette sweater. I did a double folded collar. And everything's perfect. This sweater is great. Everything's fine. Except it's way too short. Like way too short. So when I went to Canberra, I said to my boyfriend, give me the sweater. I will knit it longer and I'll give it back to you. And I just haven't done it yet. So I need to put a lifeline in above the ribbing, and then I'm just going to cut the ribbing off. I don't want to undo Italian bind off. And then just knit the body quite a bit longer. I think I do need like a couple of inches, like 4 to 5 inches longer. And then just knit a longer ribbing as well, because I don't like how short this ribbing section is. I knit that to pattern the length of the ribbing, but I just want it to be longer. I think I want it to match this length on the sleeve just to tie it all in together. But yeah, it's soft. It's nice. I've seen him wear it and it looks lovely. It just needs to be a lot longer. So once that's done, I will actually take finished object pictures and put it on Instagram to show you guys. But yeah, that's my Northland sweater. Technically a finished object, but also not. Let's talk about works in progress. I'm going to quickly mention my book club cardigan by Sari Nordland. I was knitting this up as part of the book club cardigan knit along, which has ended now, and I did not finish that cardigan by the deadline, understandably. It's an all over cable cardigan, and I'm knitting it up using Lincraft marble yarn, which I think is 50% acrylic, maybe 50% wool, something like that. No, it's like a weird combination of yarn. Anyway, it's on hold at the moment. I have not touched it since the last podcast, and I don't think I will for a little while. And there's a little voice in the back of my brain telling me to frog it. I'm knitting it up on, I think on a 5mm needle, but I think that needle size is just too small for this yarn that I'm using. And I think I would enjoy the process a lot more if I was knitting it up with a different yarn. So I think I'm just going to leave it on hold for a little while and then come back to it, knit on it a little bit and see how I feel. And if I want to frog it, I'll frog it. I made a few mistakes in there as well that I would love to be able to correct, but yeah, it'll be on hold for a little while. So when I pick it back up again, I'll tell you guys about it. The next work in progress I want to share with you are my petal drop socks, which is a pattern by Handmade by Florence. So in my last podcast, you would have seen I finished the first sock. This is just an all over lace sock with a slip stitch heel flap and gusset. And yeah, I finished the first sock last month, in July, I should say. And then I did cast on the second sock straight after I finished the first one. And this is the progress I've made. I'm just slowly working away on the leg of this sock. I'm not really in a rush. I do want to pick these up again soon, but I do have a lot of big projects on the needles at the moment. I'd love to finish these before the end of the year so that I can wear them before it gets too hot. But we'll just see. I love this pattern. I love this yarn. This is Rosarios for Maya. And it's gorgeous. I spoke about it a lot in my last podcast. It's so squishy, it's plush, it's perfect for lace or even cables as well. This would look great in a cable sock. So highly recommend the yarn and highly recommend the pattern as well. Florence's writing in patterns is just fantastic. So super easy to follow. That's the sock there. So yeah, that's all the progress I've made. I don't know when I'll finish that, but I'll show you when I do. All right. The next WIP I have to show you is kind of a big one. In my last podcast, I spoke about this project and introduced it as a plan. And since then, I have worked up a significant amount on this project. So this is the Cumulus blouse V-neck by Petite knit, and I'm knitting this up in a buddy knit with my friends Morgan and Mickey. Morgan is using like a mohair type yarn and Mickey's using the same yarn as me. So this is the Serta Cashmere Merino Silk in the color Meadow Green. I'll show you that there. And yeah, this was just 6 balls of yarn when I last spoke to you. I only bought 6 balls of this yarn when I was in WA visiting my family, and I thought that might have been enough, but it wasn't. So I ran out of yarn after working the sleeves, and I do have a significant amount on the body left to go. I think I knit maybe 4 rows on the body before splitting before doing the sleeves. So quite a lot to go, but my yarn just came in this morning from Wool Warehouse in the UK. So I ordered 4 more balls of this yarn, and now that it's here, finally, I can finish this jumper. So it's a DK weight yarn, and it is 75% merino, 20% silk, 5% cashmere, and I'm knitting up on a 5mm needle. So only the body left to do, but also I want to redo the neckline. I'm going to put a picture here of what it kind of looks like at the moment, just resting, and you can see that there's quite a bit of puckering around the neckline. I went down half a needle size, so to a 4.5mm needle for the I-cord neckline, and that was because I was scared that the v-neck was going to be way too deep. But actually what's happened now is that the v-neck is way too shallow, and that's part of the reason why I don't wear my first version of the cumulus blouse, is because the v-neck is too shallow and it hits at a weird spot on me. So I really don't want the same thing to happen with this one. So I am going to rip that back, and I'm going to knit up the I-cord with a 5mm needle. I know the puckering would probably block out, but the problem I'm having is the depth of the v-neck. It's not deep enough for me. So I think going up, back up half a needle size will help me combat that. So yeah, that's my cumulus blouse. I'm really enjoying this pattern. As I said, I've knit it up once before and really enjoyed that process. And this yarn is so luxurious and soft. This is the most money that I've ever spent on a knit project before. So I'm really trying to take my time and knit this up properly. And yeah, I'm loving the process. My stitches are a little bit uneven. I don't know if you can see that. It's also a bit wrinkled from sitting in a bag for ages. But the stitches are a little bit uneven, so I'm hoping that blocking will help even that out a little bit. I'm not sure how much the silk prevents the yarn from blocking out. We'll see. We shall see. The only thing I've blocked with this yarn was my gauge swatch, and that was okay. It didn't really have much to actually even out, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, I'm hoping this will definitely be a finished object in my next podcast. Okay, my next WIP is another gift knit. This is a gift knit for my dad that you will have seen me cast on in the most recent vlog. And also, if you've been keeping up with the podcasts, you will know that I have been going back and forth about what pattern to knit up for my dad. He asked me for a cabled Aran fisherman style sweater is what he called it. And so I was tossing up between multiple patterns and designs and trying to find something that would balance the cables that he wanted with a construction and a process that I would actually enjoy knitting up. And basically what happened is I decided to go with the Moby sweater Man, just heavily modified. So I'll show you the back panel because the front is literally nothing. I've just cast on stitches for the neckline. So I'll show you the back panel. So you can kind of see the shell of the Moby here. I've changed the center panel to be honeycomb cables. And then I've replaced the garter stitch stripes that are featured on the Moby with mini cable twists. Basically, I've kept this chunkier cable in the middle and also the double moss stitch feature on the rest of the sweater, and it's coming out beautifully, absolutely beautifully. You will have seen in the vlog as well that once I cast this on, I couldn't put it down. I was just addicted. I just kept going and going, and yeah, I'm hoping to maybe finish this by Christmas time. It would be nice, but I've got a lot of big whips on the needles at the moment, so we'll just have to see. But I think I could do it. And I'm enjoying it so much that I think it's a possibility. My modifications in the cables have really simplified this pattern for me. I have a Moby for myself on hold at the moment, and I really wasn't enjoying the process with that knit. I found myself forcing myself to knit on that project, and I think it's because there's no regularity. Every single row you're doing something, but you're doing something different. So with this, I've simplified it a lot. So every fourth row is a cable row, and that's all I have to remember. And otherwise I can read my double moss stitch stitches and I can read my cable stitches. There's none of that like weird crisscross stuff that I have to try and memorize, and alternating cable intervals and wondering what part of the garter stitch I'm up to. So I found I've made so many less mistakes with this compared to my own version of the Moby. I think I'll pick up my Moby at the start of next year and just have a little knit on it and see if it's something I want to finish. And if not, I may frog that and cast on my own version of this Moby sweater using that yarn. This yarn is Cleckheaton Country 8-ply, so not Country Naturals, just Country. And it's a 100% wool yarn. It is so soft, it's so squishy and so lush, just perfect for cables. And yeah, I kind of want to knit one up for myself. I'm loving the softness of this yarn and the ease with which the cables are working up using this yarn. I think it's the perfect blend of the right needle size and the right yarn in the right pattern. yeah, it just feels easy to work on. It doesn't feel like a slog. So as I said, hopefully we'll have this done by Christmas so I can gift it to my dad. He's really, really excited about it. So hopefully I can have that off my needles fairly soon. All right. It is WIP City today, honestly. It's insane. I have another pair of socks to share. So my knitting friends Morgan, Mickey, Heidi and I all decided to join the Colourwork Cuff Club, which is run by Summerlee Knits. And the idea with this cuff club is that you make a one-off payment and you get the base sock pattern, and every month for 12 months you get a different Colourwork cuff chart. Now in August she brought out 2 charts, and September again she's brought out 2 different charts as well, and we knit up the August chart. I have only finished one sock, hence why it's not a finished object. It's this beautiful 4-petal flower motif with these 2 stem leaf sections, and it's just stranded colourwork, and it's beautiful. I'm so happy with these. I cast these socks on literally the night when I got back from Canberra. I got back from the airport, I sat down and I started knitting on these because I saw Heidi knitting on these and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm absolutely doing that. The yarn I'm using is Tweedy Socks alpaca sock yarn. I'll put the color name here somewhere, but it's this beautiful like chocolatey brown with these tweedy bits in it. And that was the main color. And then the contrast color, I used my leftovers from my first petal drop sock in the Maya yarn. And I just think that combo was perfect, absolutely perfect. The colourwork is a little bit tight. I used a 2.5mm needle, and the pattern suggests you go up to 2.75 for the colourwork, but I don't have a 2.75. So I just knit it with the 2.5, and it came out okay, and it fits over my foot. It's a bit of a stretch. I do have to like pull it a little bit, but I think with some blocking that will really help as well. But yeah, I'm really happy with this sock. I have not cast on the second sock. The September chart came out a couple nights ago, and I don't think I'm gonna knit those ones up. There are gingham, and it's a full colourwork sock, both charts. So there's one where it's a full gingham sock and the other one is gingham on the cuff and then stripes for the rest of the sock. I'm just not really interested in that design. I knew that there were going to be some months where I just wasn't a fan of the chart, and that's fine. But yeah, I won't be knitting those ones up. So maybe I'll knit up the second August sock this month, or I'll cast on a different pair of socks. We'll see. The base pattern that's provided in the Colourwork Cuff Club is a fantastic pattern. It would be great for vanilla socks if you've never done it before. And it's great for first-time colour workers as well, because it's literally just that little cuff bit. At least the August socks are. So you don't have to worry about your tension throughout the entire sock. It's just that cuff section, and it's a good way to practice. So yeah, if you're interested in trying colourwork socks for the first time, definitely check out the Colourwork Cuff Club. I think it's great fun. All right, the next WIP I'm going to share is a big one, and it's an important one because it is my Salty Days sweater by Kutovakika. So the knit along has begun. Morgan and I are running a knit along of the Salty Days sweater by Kutovakika from September 1st to November 30th. So there's still plenty of time to get involved if you want to. Even if you've already cast on this project months ago and haven't finished it yet, feel free to join the knit along. It's just a bit of fun to see everyone's different versions and knit the same pattern together and chat and get to know each other across the world. So this is mine. I joined in the round last night, and I'm now up to the cable section on the body. So this pattern is flying, absolutely flying. Today is September 3rd, and I literally cast on 2 days ago. So absolutely running off of my needles. I'm using a 5mm needle and using a Net Erickson Eco Cotton in the color white. And it's this bright, almost neon white color that is just going to be perfect for a seaside sweater, which is what I'm intending to use this for. I want to wear this during the summer, and I think the lace and the airy gauge is just going to be perfect for that. My plan is to finish up the cable section on the body and then knit the collar and the sleeves, and then continue working on the body and finish the sweater that way. As I said before, it helps me prevent sleeve island. That's the way I like to knit my sweaters. So yeah, I'll probably finish the cable section hopefully today, and then yeah, can work on the collar and the sleeves. I'm filming a project vlog for this sweater, so I won't talk too much more about the process, but just know I'm absolutely loving every second of it. If you want to join the knit along as well, all the details will be down in the description of this video, and there's also a pinned post over on my Instagram that you can go check out. The chat has grown a lot. There's quite a few people in there now, and it's really awesome to see everybody's different versions. And it's great to ask everyone in the chat for advice and tips, and it's just so wholesome and lovely. So feel free to join if you would like to. We are doing our first Zoom knit and chat this weekend. It's probably happening whilst this video is uploading. If this video goes up on Sunday, that's when the knit and chat is. So we're having our first Zoom knit and chat call, which is going to be really exciting. I've got no idea how many people are going to attend that. So it's a bit nerve-wracking, but I'm excited to see everyone's week 1 progress. So yes, that's the Salty Days. I ran out of storage, so hopefully I don't get cut off again. I think I finished talking about my Salty Days. Hopefully I'll have that done by the end of this month because I want to start wearing it. Now I have one last WIP to share. I promise, only one more. When I get cast on energy, I just cast on absolutely everything. But this is another gift knit, and these are the Eleanora mitts by Petra. And it's this cable knit. Whoop. I'll put a picture here because I literally have nothing on my needles. But they're these all over cable fingerless mittens. And I'm knitting them up in this stunning red color. It's kind of reddy pink. This is the cake here. This is Great Southern Yarns fingering 100% merino in the color Margaret Preston's. This is some yarn that I won as part of a competition that was run by Dear Prue at the Bendigo Sheep and Wool Show this year. And I just think it's stunning, and I think it's going to look fantastic and delicious in these cables. It's so squishy, it's so soft, and the color is just stunning. I don't wear bright colors like this, hence why this is going to be a gift knit for somebody for Christmas, and I hope they like it. As I said, I'm not going to mention who these gift knits are for because I don't know who actually watches these videos. So yeah, those are the Eleanora mitts. I'm using a 2.5mm needle for these, and they're just a slow whip. I'm in no rush to actually get these done. I've got until Christmas, so plenty of time to work on these. Let me know if you've worked on this pattern before. I know Mickey from Mickey's Cozy Corner has made them before, and hers are beautiful and so stunning. So that's where I got the inspiration from. But yeah, let me know if you've actually worked on these mitts before. So yeah, that's my last WIP. As I said, I've got some crazy cast on energy, so I'm sure there'll be plenty more WIPs in the next video that I will share. Now I have a couple acquisitions, and these first 2 are really wholesome because they were gifted to me by Morgan. So she gifted Heidi, Mickey and I some of these cords when we were there for our knit night. They're the cords that you use to put your projects, like your knit projects, on hold, and they hold all the stitches and stuff. And so she gifted us a couple of those for different lengths, like for sleeves or for the body of your sweater, in these cute little tins. I have been meaning to get myself some of these cords, so when Morgan pulled these out and gifted them to us, my heart was just so full because it's just so thoughtful and something that you're actually going to use, and I'm so grateful that she gifted these to us. When we were there as well, as I said, we made some stitch markers, and she gave us these little tins as well to put them in. Oh, she also gifted us these tape measures, these little pocket tape measures, which are just super cute. So I got a pink one. And then, yeah, we made some stitch markers. So I don't know if you can see some of my old ones in there, like my whale and my croissant. But she bought this little pack of charms with some light bulb stitch markers as well in another pack. And so we sat and we made some together, which was really cute. So the pack was like sea themed. I really don't know if that's focusing, but it's a starfish. So there was like some starfish, some shells. Hold on, I'll show you a shell. That's a shell there. So yeah, so grateful that we got to do that. So thoughtful as well. What a fun little activity. I definitely recommend, if you're getting together with some of like your knitting or crafting friends, buy some stuff to make stitch markers, because it's so fun and they're so useful. So I keep all that in this little tin now. So those are some wholesome little acquisitions. Now, plans wise, I have a lot of Christmas gifts that I want to knit up. I have a lot of ideas and a lot of thoughts swirling around in my head of what I want to make for different people. So I'm probably going to get a start on that this week, actually, because I want to get a head start. I don't want to get to December and have a bunch of Christmas gift knitting to do during December. I want to have it all done so I can enjoy my Christmas and not be stressed about gifts for people. Now, my last plan is a really exciting one. I have been accepted for my first ever test knit. I'm going to be test knitting the Maxine sweater by Penrose from Penrose Knits, and I'm so freaking excited. I have been watching Laura's videos forever and have been wanting to test knit one of her patterns for so long, so I'm absolutely thrilled that she accepted me to be part of this test. Some people have already started working theirs up, and it was really cool to be in the group chat when everyone was deciding on their colors and what designs they wanted to do and what yarns they wanted to use, and I'm so excited to share my process. I'm going to be doing a project vlog about the Maxine test knit, hopefully, and I'm going to be knitting up the second size. The Maxine calls for a DK weight yarn, so I'm going to be using Bendigo Woolen Mill's classic 8-ply in a different range of colors. I've obviously put a picture of the pattern here, but it's to match her Maxine hot water bottle as well, which is something that I've been wanting to knit up for a long time as well. So my plan is to take the scraps from my Maxine sweater and make up a matching hot water bottle cover. I'm really going to try and take my time with this knit. The test ends, I think, early to mid-November, so hopefully you'll have the pattern out ready to purchase in mid-November. But I really want to take my time and be thoughtful and just mindful about the whole process so that I can give Laura as much valuable feedback as I can. As I said, I've never test knit before, so I'm going to try and be patient with myself and also be as methodical as I can be as a, fairly adventurous beginner intermediate sort of knitter. The pattern looks great from a first read through, but as I said, I'm new to this, so we'll see how we go along, and I'm excited to see everybody else's projects as well as we go through the process. As I said, I'll be vlogging the test knitting process from start to finish, so keep your eyes peeled. I'll also post as many updates as I can on my Instagram, because I want you guys to be able to see this sweater come to life. Alrighty. I think I might round out this podcast here. I keep running out of storage and I don't really have much to share in the way of books and TV. I haven't read anything this month at all. I have pre-saved Hannah Grace's new book, Daydream, on Spotify. So that should be coming out this week, maybe today or tomorrow. So when that comes out, I'm hopefully going to listen to that whilst I knit. And then for TV, I'm probably going to be watching the new Rings of Power season. I haven't started it yet. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so I'm really excited for that season to come out. But otherwise, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're safe and well wherever you are. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.